In 2011, the Victory Village Forum in Nelson brought together 250 people from sectors, agencies and communities right across New Zealand. They came together to explore the concept of family-centred community-led development, and they learned how at Victory, a failing school and struggling community have been turned around by the community's own initiatives. Forum attendees also shared ideas and learnings from their own experiences. They gave a strong collective message that family-centred, community-led approaches produce positive outcomes and play a central role in New Zealand's future. This set of resources is a harvest of insights and ideas from the forum. We hope it will inspire and support family-centred, community-led ways of working in your part of Aotearoa. So just what is family-centred, community-led development?
Family-centred community-led development is about putting families at the centre of our thinking and letting communities lead.
Believe it or not, the residents that live in the community know what works in their community, and they know what's wrong with it as well. And often, if you talk to them, they'll know how to fix it.
What it's all about is ensuring that family is at the heart of everything we do. The reality from our point of view is that family is the heart of community.
I think what we're dealing with here isn't just new ways of delivering programs. I think what we're dealing with is actually a new paradigm for how we engage with communities.
It's about starting with where the family's at and linking them with others in the area, and then drawing in resources of other organisations around an area as well.
So why is family-centred, community-led development important?
What the earthquake made us realise, because it's really been tough, is the importance of community and also the importance of carrying that on, and that sense of people working together. You actually don't want to lose it, like it's been about the one good thing to come out of the earthquake.
There are lots of issues New Zealand is facing, and we're not the only country in the world that's facing those. But if we want to be serious about creating hope and sustainable long-term change, then the key principles that we've been hearing identified yesterday and today have to become principles that integrate not only local delivery, but central government delivery, iwi delivery, organisations like the Families Commission delivery, and that is principles like bottom-up, inside-out, heart at the centre, which is family at the centre, and listening to what local communities are wanting and working alongside them.
But if we're going to get better health outcomes, we've got to really make sure that people don't discount their futures, that people actually value themselves. That's where the great health gains are going to come from. It's actually from people valuing their future. And that's better health outcomes, but it's also better education outcomes. It's better justice system outcomes as well.
So family-centred, community-led development isn't a single service or a program to fix things. It's a way of thinking and doing that's based on 6 core principles: engagement, empowerment, connection, collaboration, relationships, and responsiveness.
Nothing about us without us. If you want to do, if you want to be, make sure that the people that you're doing with and about are around the table with you. So if you're doing work with children, about children, make sure that you're listening to what they're saying about it. Make sure they're part of the planning right from the word go. Be around the table, have their parents around the table, you know, like make sure that we're listening to the voice of all the people that are affecting our children.
One of our big successes in ways to be able to bring our community in, we have family fun nights, and we've had our amazing place race. That's been a great deal of fun. On the community side, we've had the West Harbour Winter Day, getting our community coming into our school and having lots of fun.
We believe that the skills need to sit within whānau and community, as well as at the level of professionals. Whānau need to be able to recognise need and respond safely and wisely to them. And one example of what this looks like for us is that when Te Oroho attend training and hui conferences, we commit to taking people from our community with us.
One of the biggest ways of creating trust in the community is a simple thing by giving a key to a group who want to use a cheap or no cost activity and say, use that building, we'll lend you the key, and believe me, it's one of the most powerful ways of creating trust and a sense of empowerment that this is their school and they are free to use it.
Coming in for the computers and homes gave them confidence to come into the school and be a part of the school community. So each week that they came in, they were getting closer and closer, and to coming from the just walking past to coming in and having a cup of tea and talking to the staff, and then reaching out and looking at other things that they can help in the schools.
I wanted to get involved in Victory because I was made to feel welcome, and I saw that good things were happening here, and I thought, who wouldn't want to be a part of this? The energy is good, people are doing great things, I want to learn from them, I want to help out, I want to have a small part, I want to have contributed, I've been looked after, I feel like I want to do my part. But I think first I felt looked after, and then I wanted to do something. I was made to feel welcome.
We've tried to be more open to people coming in, and so more initiatives have been happening. Someone came with the idea of doing coffees in the morning. This is on a Friday, and so they brought a coffee machine in, and some of the local mums who have children at the school are actually making coffees, and it's getting people to come in and stop, and so people have to pay for the coffee, but it's cheaper, much cheaper than you'd normally pay for a latte, and it's providing a chance for people to have conversations and connections.
There's some really strong links between what's happening at the moment in whānau water development and other developments in that whole family-centred and community-led development space, and so it seems to me really important that we make sure we maintain as many links as possible, because the places where policy and programs and interactions meet is in communities and in real people, so we need to make sure that we maintain that connection really well.
So rather than just stay in our silos, I think we've got to look more broadly, more holistically, and work together with families and whole communities. Many agencies and service providers, have a lot to contribute, and I think we need to look at ways we can proactively reach out and bring everyone to the table and keep the conversation going.
There's safety in numbers and collaboration, so you all end up on the front page at the same time if something goes horribly wrong.
Braden Baptist has a big influence in our school community, and they do it without hooks. There's no hidden agenda. So they'd provide youth workers, coaches for sports, people just to be in the playground with the kids, youth workers to go on camp with the children, and so on. So our local community is really quite strong.
The community I'm working in, we've got about 2,500 people who live relatively closely together in a defined community, and what really excites me is the relationships and the energy that's coming with those relationships. We've spent quite a lot of time just building the community fabric, and so people actually know each other a lot better, and out of that there's been some amazing things. The engagements led to really good spontaneity around projects.
If we know people, then we have a completely different reaction to them, and those relationships are more healthy. And the best but crude example I can think of is you get cut off at an intersection by somebody. Your initial reaction is to give them some sort of gesture. When you realise that person is someone that you've sat down and had lunch with or talked over a cup of coffee with them and sort of stuff, that very quickly turns to a wave and a smile. And so, if we know each other in our communities through events like the Stone Soup Gathering or some of the things that have been spin off from there, then we just have a happier place to be.
At every level, for us working in the community, for people in regional agencies, for government, it's actually being confident enough to come in and say to the people that we're there for, that we are there for them, we're there to serve.
Out of our Tātou West Harbour stakeholder network meeting, there came a dream that we wanted a place that our community could come to, and we wanted a separate place within our school grounds that the community could feel was theirs, to be able to make it their own and take it on a journey of their own.
So where to next for family-centred community-led development?
What we need is not a fresh set of instructions, we need a fresh set of insights.
Whānau actually are at the centre. They're already there, and I think the challenge, particularly with the government hat on, is to actually behave as if that were the truth.
We realise that we're going to have to do things differently. The biggest challenge, I think, is people coming outside of their structures, outside of their organisations, being prepared to give up some power, being prepared to do things differently, being prepared to change.
We may still lean toward treating people in our community like recipients of services. Community-led development requires us to change our perspective and how we view our families and our communities. Our journey in community-led development must be one that is taken together.
Taking a family-centred approach to it doesn't change what we do as local government, but it's a question of changing how we go about doing it.
I would like to see whānau taking responsibility for themselves. I would like to see providers and government agencies allowing whānau to take responsibility for themselves, allowing them to fulfil their own dreams, rather than having things done to them all the time.
Like, you're not having to worry about what's going on because the neighbours are concerned about who's living next door to them instead of not even knowing their name after 7 years of living in a house. But they're having cups of tea together, they're having barbecues together, and everybody's just taking care of each other.
So I think really the paradigm shift is around that we need all of us doing this together. So communities, businesses, organisations, central government, local government, schools, all of us working together.